What's up, Undead? It's been well over a year since the last video I put up. Still got the tent running, still pumping the heat into the house. Stuck to my word, I'll mine the entire bear market. I've only got a couple machines on at the moment. Those two are Cadena, little mini Cadena miners. That's my A2000 rig. These are my 30 series cards. I had them on, but shut them off in the summer. I don't know. It was just tough to deal with the heat. I never really reorganized this thing and had it set up for its summer, where I was venting out the windows, and it was still kind of tied in there. And I just, had the A2000s and these couple of A6 running, and my AC was more than able to keep this all cool. But beyond that, it would have been struggling to keep the house cool. Mined a couple thousand ergo over the bear market, and a few hundred Cadena, and I think that'll pay off. I mean, if we get anywhere near the prices in the last bull run for the ergo, that's say you had 2,000 ergo, that's $40,000. And people say, well, why didn't you just buy it? Buy it with cash instead of mining it. And to be honest, it's because I wouldn't have. Much as I like to think that I'm, Johnny on the spot and I'm DCAing and all that stuff, life gets a hold of you and you forget to do it. I get to write off my losses for electricity. As I run this as a business, I can offset some of those losses for future gains. It made the most sense. I just knew that I was constantly going to be seeing that deposit in my wallet, and I'm glad I did it. I think it's going to pay off. I think Cadena and ergo will definitely see appreciation from here. I've held everything. I am now getting into Bitcoin mining. So I have an S19k Pro upstairs. I'm going to take this 580 rig off the shelf here. I'm going to get some of these machines pulled out and dusted off. They've gotten pretty gross over the last 3 years they've been running. I think I'm going to turn this shelf sideways and just have the GPUs blowing out towards the camera. And then on the top shelf I'll have at least that first ASIC getting plumbed into the ventilation like you see here. I have the Fruition Design cooling kit for it. So I'll use that 8-inch blower right there on the back side. It'll be running across and then plumbed up into the ventilation, and then these GPUs, as I turn them on, will just throw heat into the basement, which I imagine will radiate some upstairs, but the bulk of the heating is going to be coming from that first ASIC. I do have to put in another 30 amp breaker into there because as it was with all my GPUs on, I was almost out of power. Right now I'm only running a few things, maybe 1500 watts, so I'll have plenty of room on that 30 amp circuit for one ASIC, but I have two more on the way. So I have the S19k Pro that's upstairs. I have another one that's coming, and then I have a Cadena KA3, which those things were ungodly last year. I'll have to put links too to where I bought this stuff. I got it pretty cheap. And like I said, I kind of believe in both Cadena and ergo, and I definitely believe in Bitcoin. I've been wanting to be a Bitcoin miner for a while. But yeah, I got to get some more electricity here. I'll have to get another power bank. Once I'm trying to get everything turned on at once, and profitability starts to show up and things like that. Anyways, I'm going to get upstairs, get that ASIC opened up, and then I think I'm going to pull these off, get them all dusted out, get that shelf turned, and then kind of show you the finished product after I got everything up and running. Okay, I'm running upstairs. Well, there's the S19, and this is the cooling kit I was talking about. So I'll get the two of these put together. I don't even think I'm going to start it up before Oh, and this is their special K kit. So it has the proper adapters for the K Pro, because this has regular fan plugs for two of the fans, and then a different design fan plug. And somewhere in this kit, I believe they give you there's the adapters right there. So there's the fan emulators. Those are the adapters for the two weird fans they have. And yeah, basically, I'm sure you guys have seen these, but it's a ducting kit. Here, let me get this opened up. Okay, there it is opened up. So essentially, these this is the exhaust side right here, intake side right there. Those will go into the PSU. And so what this does is replace the noisy ASIC fans in place of these manifolds, and then I'll use that 8-inch tent fan that you saw downstairs. That'll end up supplying the airflow through the ASIC. So I'll get that all bolted up. I'll show you what it looks like when it's done. Okay, there it is all set up now. It's a little different in that I'm not gathering all of the heat from the tent and forcing that into the house. But I really wasn't running enough equipment to get any reasonable amount of heat out of it. Right now this is the basement temp, and that's the temp running into the house. It's usually a little bit more, but my furnace just kicked on, and so it's actually drawing some of the heat. This is on the intake side, so it actually, when the furnace fan kicks on, it draws some of the heat, and then this fan turns down. Oh, it's going up a little bit there. Oh yeah, you can see I've set a map on there where depending on the outlet temp, the fan will either move up or down. And it's so cold in this basement right now that I actually have this thing running at less than 2600 watts by quite a chunk, probably like 2580. And the chip temp on the hot side is usually running between 53 and 57 degrees. It's been really cold in the Midwest this past week. Some of our lows in the negatives. In fact, a couple of the days our highs were in the negatives. And I can tell you that when it's that cold, my furnace usually never stops running, and I've been seeing clips of 10 minutes with no furnace running at all. So I think it's helping quite a bit. It's quite a bit more concentrated heat getting blown up into the house. And then this is kind of like I was talking about earlier with the Ergo. This is my DCA strategy into Bitcoin, but at a discount. I mean, rough numbers, and this is probably fluctuating from day to day, but let's just say it was $10 a Bitcoin I mine every day and pay maybe $7 in electricity. That's a 70% discount that I'm DCAing with. Paying $7 and getting $10 worth of Bitcoin. And on top of that, as far as tax implications, I'm paying only for the $3 out of the $10 of Bitcoin that I'm getting in income tax as I run this as a business. Plus I get to expense the electricity, obviously, some of my phone, internet, and even portions of the house that I dedicated to mining, such as my office and then this mining area here. Top that off with free heat. This is why I mine. It's kind of a no-brainer. Yeah, there's the argument about the initial investment, and that's true. Although I think not only can I depreciate the equipment over the span of a few years, which is a tax benefit, but it'll likely hold some value, if not appreciate, during a bull run. So that's kind of the idea. I got a couple more machines coming, fingers crossed. That may be wishful thinking. Also, we got the halving coming up. It's very possible that some of the less efficient equipment that's on the network will be dropping off at that time too. Hopefully I'm buying new enough, efficient enough machines to kind of keep up with that. If everything stays the same, obviously I'm going to be taking a dip, mining at a loss, quote unquote. But like I said, with all the tax benefits and things like that, I actually have to go quite a bit in the negative to actually make it not worth it. So, and I think things are looking up. Gonna kind of, it's been a long time since I made a video too, and really it's just because I had nothing to say. It's like I said, just after the halving, I said I'm gonna keep my machines running and I'm just gonna pretend like they're not there. Just zombie mining, but it looks like the Undead is rising, so like to take you guys on the journey with me. There's the 580s I pulled out. Still a lot of dust in here. I got some of the stuff that's running dusted off, but I still got more to take out, clean up, kind of decide how I'm gonna arrange this as the new ASICs come in. Probably gonna play a little around with these heat maps a little bit more too, or the fan maps I should say. But you know, as of right now, I got it pretty much dialed in for this cold of temperature. Yeah, so that's it for this video. I guess if you guys have any questions or comments, shoot them down below. I've been pretty good about answering those, or any ideas of how I could do this a little better. I'd ideally like to use some of this other heat too, but I don't know how many hoses I can have running into that furnace ducting, but we'll see. I mean, there should be some radiant heat coming up from the basement too, although I did seal off the door, which is one of the reasons why it's so cold in here. I do have the windows cracked. I don't want to be pulling any of the heat out of the house and drawing it down into the basement, so I don't know. For now, this is okay. I may end up having to move some of my operation into the garage, but for now I'm gonna try to focus it here in the dungeon, get a little more power down here, and I'll take you guys along the journey. All right, stay undead.